And hello everyone, welcome to this week's CCbridge tutorial. In the last week we learned about how the basics of saving a game into XQF or CBR format. Now, one of the most powerful things that CCbridge can do is that it has the ability to save individual files into one big library. So that would be a CBL file. So a CBL file will contain many CCbridge files. So for example, in this is my own catalog. So for example, in the Elegant Pastime Manual, okay, this is some of, you can see that there are 550 games which you can manipulate everything, and each of this one is one XQF or CBR file depending on the raw material that you have. Okay, so without further ado, I'll show you how to save files into a CBL. If you know where to look on the internet, especially in various Chinese or Vietnamese websites, sometimes you can find links or files shared on the internet which contain only CBL files. So I've opened a folder, and these are my own the CBL files that I created on my own for analysis of various opening positions. So we'll choose the smallest one, which will be the Pell Corner Cannon. And one simple way of saving a CBL file that you have found over the internet would be just to drag it and place it to whatever folder or the main course. Like for example, if I were to save it here, okay, that will come out, and I just you can determine where you want to save it. Let's say I want to save it in the main menu, and you see it appears here. So in this CBL file, I would not need to save 493 files at one time. It's already done, and I can use this for analysis. And there are many ways that you can use files in a library, a CBL library, to do analysis, which I will show you later on in another video. So this is one very simple way, and if I remember correctly, there are links to a super big file on the internet whereby there are about 300,000 files arranged into different CBLs that can be downloaded for free on the internet. That was some years back ago, but I think the link still can be found somewhere. So this is one very good use of the CBL, and all the files in a library, you can use the different parameters to group them. I'll show you later on, but for the moment, you just have to know how to save a CBL file into your directory. Okay, say you want to delete the directory, you just go to the whatever directory you want, right click it, and you choose this with a D to delete it. You left click it, and it will be deleted. Okay, I've just opened another folder. This would be some of the games in the 7th round of the recent World Xiangqi Championships in Canada. As can be seen, the raw material that I have are all in XQF format. So how do you generate your own library from different XQF or CBR files? It would be very simple. You go to the directory over here, you right click it, and you choose this button. This would create a file whereby you can whereby you can put all your CBR files or XQF files into it. So L is for library. Now N is to create a folder. A folder can contain many different libraries. So as can be seen, for example, in my ancient manuals, this is the manual for all the elegant pastime files that I found, and you can see I can keep them, store them away nicely in this manner. So 550 for this one, 360 for this one, etc, etc. Okay, so all you have to do is right click here and create your own library, whereby you have to fill in some parameters, and this will be the name of the library you're gonna use. This will be the most important line. I'm sorry, you have to fill in some parameters for the name of the file, which is the most important, and this line is for any notes or particular things you want to write about the file, the description, etc. So I've already created a file. It's called for demo purposes over here, and I've already saved the game from here. So before we continue, if you want to check the relevant material, you can right click it. You can simply right click it, and on the last button on the bottom, and this thing over here. So whatever you type here can be seen in the short introduction here. And after typing the name of the file, there'll be a name will be generated, and you can still change the name of the file over here. So this will be the particulars for this file, and I've already saved the file over here. So if we were to open the file that we have just now, one simple way to save the XQF files or CBR files that you have would be to just drag them. So this would be the library. You just drag it to, and the game and its particulars, etc., will be shown here. So this was the game that was played between Singaporean Grandmaster Wu Zhonghan against Chinese Grandmaster Xu Cao, who was the eventual champion. And again, you can view the game in whatever manner you want. And last week I forgot to mention about, let's say if at this point in the game you wanted to generate the fan notation, or the Frederick Forsyth Edwards notation, you just right click and you can see there's a fan here. So once you click on here, for example, if you open a notepad, you right click and you paste, and the fan notation for this position will be seen. Okay, so this is one very useful trick that you can use. Now back to the game. So after pulling here, all I have to do is to save. And in last week we learned about saving it as an individual SQL file. This week we will save it to the library that I just created for demo purposes, and you just click it, and you see that now there are two games here. So I'll show you one or two more examples. So for example, I just drag another game, and I can save it to the library, and there will be three games here. So this is one way you can where you can create your own library of games that you want to use. So this is a very useful feature. Now after having the files in the library, you can do some simple analysis of the games. So for example, there are three games here. All I have to do is I will need to go to the ribbon, press the toolbox button here, and I'll click on the systems button here. So after clicking, this window would appear. Now this is a very useful function of CCbridge. For the time being, we will be focusing on this button over here. The rest of the buttons I'll introduce in the later videos. So once you press this button, you'll see all the parameters that are available, for a particular board, and you can choose to list whatever parameters you want for your analysis. So for example, this will be the name. Let's say I copy 100. This will be the size of the column that you are going to use. Red would be 50, black would be 50. So for example, I change the parameters, and you have to refresh it a little bit. So as you can see now, the opening, red player, the black player, the event, and the title of the match can be seen here. Okay, so one little neat trick that I learned that not many people know would be to try to change all the relevant material in bulk at this point. So for example, in this CBR file, if you remember our video tutorial last week, if you click on this file, all the particulars can be seen over here. So we have red, black, red's team, black's team, etc. And in this case, the competition venue, the competition will be the 2019 WXF championships. Now one way to do so would be to type in, as you can save it. One way to do so would be to type in manually. A faster way would be just hover your cursor over here, right click, and press Ctrl A to choose all the files. Now when you choose all the files, or you can just choose this and this by clicking your mouse and holding the control button. So whatever you do, the following steps will be the same. Once you've chosen the files that you want, say all 3 files, you right click on this, right click to allow this window to pop out, and then you go to the buttons over here, whereby the window shown when you clicked here will pop out. So anything entered here would change the variable for all the files selected. So for example, I would now click 2017 championships, and after entering, all the files would now contain the same parameter. So this was empty previously, but now it will show. So this can be done for any of the columns shown here, and you can select whatever you want to see. All these are the parameters that are given here, so you can change everything in bulk, and it will be a very nice way to manage your files and do some research. Okay, so this is one trick that I learned recently, so I hope it's very useful to you. And CBL files would allow you to do a lot of analysis and study of your games. Okay, so for today's video, I think this will be more than enough, and I'll continue next week. Please tune in for more videos and more information about how to use CCbridge. And if you like my videos or the work that I have been doing, please support my work by liking my channel, my website, or buying the books that I have written or translated to preserve the culture of Xiangqi. I thank you very much, and hope you have a nice weekend ahead. Thank you.